everybody. My name is Swifty, and I am here today to open up a collector booster box of Lorwyn Eclipsed. Lorwyn Eclipsed is not the most recent set. Most recent set is, of course, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But I figured, let's open up a box and see if we got any good pulls. And we'll talk about the set as we're going. For those of you who don't know, I am part of the Air Force Gaming program with the Department of the Air Force. Specifically, I'm also part of the Space Force Gaming program as well. And today, we're just opening. Oh my goodness, I really don't want you to get into these. Come on, we're just opening some packs and opening some packs and seeing what we get. Seeing if there's anything cool that we pull out of this collector booster box of Lorwyn Eclipsed. For those of you who do know, and those of you who don't, I am one of the trading card game ambassadors for the Air Force Gaming program. And you can catch me on the Air Force Gaming stream, twitch.tv/Air Force Gaming, every Tuesday starting at 1900 Eastern Time. We usually play some Commander with some of our other Air Force Gaming members, and we have some fun, play some games using Spell Table or Convoke to play with members from all over the world. So today we're just going to open these on up and see if we can get anything good. The booster box was $380 on TCG Player, but there was also shipping costs, so and taxes and all that. $385, I think, is what the actual cost of the booster box was. But after shipping and taxing and all that, I think we wound up somewhere in the neighborhood of $410-ish. Which is what it is. So if we can break 410, that'd be fantastic. We'll see if there's anything we can get out of that. So here we go. Open up our first pack. See what we get. So our commons and uncommons are going to be in the front, and then our mythics and rares and such will be in the back, as well as any of those special treatment cards. So we'll see if there's anything cool to talk about in our commons and uncommons. I do remember while playing limited for this set, playing pre-release and that kind of thing, Rooftop Percher was actually a pretty decent thing to grab, because it's a five mana 3/3, but it is a changeling, so it counts for any of the tribal or kindred that you're needing for a very kindred focused set. Flying is nice to have in limited. 5 mana for a 3/3 is a pretty not a great rate outside of limited, but when it enters, exiles up to 2 cards from graveyards, and notably that can get rid of some graveyard mechanics from certain things, but also can affect your own graveyard if needed, and then you gain 3 life, which isn't bad. Protective Response, Grave Shift, Silver Girl Mentor. We had some Merfolk in the set, which is always nice. Kithkin, seeing the return of Kithkin is really cool. These full art lands are absolutely gorgeous. I do love them, and I know if anybody who's seen any of my stuff before, seen me on the Air Force Gaming Twitch channel, I'm a fanatic for full art lands, and these are fantastic. So let's see what we got. We got a Shadow Urchin. We got an Eventide's Shadow, a lot of shadows. This is from the Commander set. Raiding Schemes. Wistfulness. Now that's a pretty decent one. That's a pretty decent pull. These Evoke Elementals are pretty good value-wise. And a Gloom Ripper, which I am actually not super familiar with, but we'll take a look. And then we got a token with an elf and a treasure. So all good stuff there. I organize my stuff, commons, uncommons will be over here, and then our mythics and rares will set off to the side, and our lands and tokens will set off to the side, and anything we think could be a good hit we'll set over here, and we can check those prices. And I might be able to put some of that info on screen as well if I do my editing properly. All right, let's see what we got. Stratosaur. This guy, the Dawnlight Archers, with flash and reach, pretty nice to have in limited. 3-drop, flash it out if you need an extra blocker. The reach is always nice to have as well. Getting rid of those. So, this Mist Meadow Council, I'll tell you what, it looks very sinister. The way, you know, the eyes are foiled on here with these Kithkin. Rhyme Chill, Gnarlbark Elm, Squawk Roaster, Deep Channel Duelist. Love seeing some Merfolk. Island, gorgeous. Twilight Diviner, Dread Tiller, another one from the commander side. Spry and Mighty, I have so many copies of Spry and Mighty. Shadow Urchin, we got another one of them. Risk the Evermore, which is not the flip one. And a Goblin Token. I don't think anything super big and crazy out of that pile there. So we'll move on to the next pack here. See if we can't get anything cool. There are, of course, there's that one serialized card, which would be really cool to pull if we did pull it. I'll move this over to my trash. Here we go. All right, let's see. Heal to Erdu, Burning Curiosity, Marrow Sky Swimmer, Lysolana Informant. Elves are really cool in this set. Rhymekin Recluse, Eclipse Flame. All the Eclipse ones were really nice for limited as well, because they give you the potential mana fixing, because you can pull an island or mountain card from the top of your library, or give you another creature. So it's just good card advantage, and the rest go on the bottom, so they're not immediately binned. And they're easy to cast because of the hybrid mana as well. Noggled Mind, things become Noggles, which is fun. Swamp, man, look at this art, really nice art. Winnowing. Winnowing, if I recall correctly, there's a version of Winnowing in the bundles for this, as the bundle promo. Lucas Covenant. Champions of the Perfect. Blood Crypt. All right, there we go. That's a pretty good one. With the double art. Champions of the Shoal. And a Saproling and a Scarecrow. That old Saproling art making a comeback. Our old style of Saproling. Blood Crypt with the Lorwyn and Shadowmoor versions. Very nice. So that's a pretty decent pull for us. All right, let's see what our next one was. Now we love grabbing some. We love ripping packs. Magic players love ripping packs. There's nothing Magic players love more than drawing cards, but if there's a close second, it might be ripping packs. Might just be ripping packs. Just opening packs for the sake of opening them. Spiral into Solitude, Foraging Wickermaw, Boggart Prankster. The little Jim Henson Creations. Was it Squen and Crag? That they did for the trailer for Lorwyn Eclipsed, and then they've been doing the little like YouTube shorts where they're hosting a podcast. Those have been delightful. Just absolutely delightful to see. I hope they've got the puppets. They may as well keep using them. I hope we get some good Squen and Crag podcast style things and more videos with them, because it's just a very fun, and I think the feedback for that has been overwhelmingly positive for the little Boggarts that they're using. Would love to see more of that. Darkness Descends, Burden to Stone back. Blossoming Defense, nice little 1-drop in limited. Gives +2/+2 and hexproof until end of turn. Just love to see that kind of stuff in your limited environment. And the limited environment for this set has been a blast to play. Whether you went to pre-release when this set first came out, whether you've done other sealed events, whether you've done draft events, it's just been absolutely fantastic to play. We got a nice forest, full art forest here. Ooh, a normal border Blood Crypt. All right, cool. Jubilation. Jubilation is an elemental incarnation, but I don't think it's actually a big hit for this one. Goliath Daydreamer. Winnowing. Got another one of those. Marlin Fey Ascendant. And our art card is a Wistfulness. Yeah, cool. So, very nice. Limited for this set was just a blast to play. Pre-release was a ton of fun, like I said, and then there's some good cards to pull for other formats as well. So this is an all-around a great set. Changeling Wayfinder. If we get a Mutable Explorer, that's my favorite little changeling shapeshifter from this set, because it makes the little mutable dudes, which is fantastic. Terry Volter, Mudbutton Curse Tosser. Mudbutton Curse Tosser was my nickname in high school. Eclipsed Elf. Like I said, the Eclipsed cards are fantastic for limited, and they're all very easy to cast if you are in those colors and in those kindred types. We saw the return of kindred enchantments as well, which is really cool to see. Thoughtweft Lieutenant. Island. Collective Inferno is a pretty decent card. I don't know if it's a huge hit. I don't think it is, but it is a pretty decent card in and of itself. It's been seeing some play in some obviously some EDH decks, but also I think we've been seeing a little bit of play in Standard, though I might be wrong. Rainslick Cops. Typed lands, tapped, cycling. Lorywn Imperfect Naturalist. ETB, mill 4 cards, then you may put a creature or land card from among them on top of your library. And then for 5 mana, discard a land, create a worm creature token for each land in your graveyard. Overgrown Tomb. We love an Overgrown Tomb. Very nice. And a Formidable Speaker is actually a pretty decent card, I think. Overgrown Tomb, love that. Formidable Speaker. I thought that was a pretty decent one. I might be mistaken though. And a fairy and a goblin. I didn't pull up any of the prices beforehand. It's kind of fun to just guess. Obviously, the shocklands are always going to be pretty decent to have. Even though we're seeing reprints, we're seeing the value of them by themselves kind of go down. That's not a bad thing. That keeps the entry for Standard and other formats a little easier to get into. Standard's really expensive right now, so having some of those pieces come down, even though shocklands aren't as good as Standard as they are in formats that have access to fetch lands like Modern or Vintage Legacy or whatever, though the play almost goes different when you get into those older formats. Modern specifically loves the shocklands because they've got their fetch lands. Reluctant Downguard, Cinder Strike, Aquatex Defenses, Wildvine Pummeler. I remember I used this in Limited, and because the vivid mechanic was very interesting, because it almost encouraged you to go into more than your 2 colors that you maybe slash a 3rd color. You could, with the hybrid mana that we had, with the mana fixing available in Limited, the vivid mechanic became very interesting for Limited for this set. Thirst for Identity, Miscellaneous Dignitary, Resting, Wretched Wretch, Morcant's Loyalist, and Forest, Full Art Forest. Oh, Chronicle of Victory. Okay, so this is actually a really cool card. I don't think it's super good. ETB, choose a creature type. Creatures you control, the chosen type gets +2/+2 and have first strike and trample. And whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, draw a card. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. 6 mana is a little high. The effects are good. What I really like about this is the art, because this shows how Lorwyn was affected by the Phyrexian invasion. So we see the Phyrexians coming in. We see, some of the elves defending Lorwyn. It's just a really cool art. I really like this art because it also alludes to the history of the plane and the history of the previous sets, And we don't see a ton of that in Magic sets right now, which is a shame, right? We're forgetting where we came from, but whenever we can like see a snapshot of like, oh, this is what this is at least an acknowledgement of what happened during the Phyrexian invasion, during March of the Machine. Like this is a really nice callback to see. It doesn't all need to be callbacks, right? But it is nice to see like there was some impact to the world, that this is a sort of tapestry that's been made by someone on the plane, and it was an impactful enough event that they felt the need to document it and record it in this tapestry. So like it tells a story not only of what happened during the Phyrexian invasion, with the Phyrexians coming in with some fairies, with some elves coming in to defend, looks like some tree folk as well, coming to defend against the Phyrexian invasion. But it also tells a story that this world has storytellers that would want to tell the story and remember what happened. Aberrant's Return, Twilight Diviner, Collective Inferno again, not a huge one. Oh, Bitter Blossom, there we go, that's a hit right there. Love to see that. Bitter Blossom, very nice, with the special guest artwork of it. Absolutely good, absolutely great. We got Merfolk and a worm. Very nice. And like I was saying, I don't think that Collective Inferno is that big, but we'll keep it off to the side. We'll check at the end of all of this. All right. Let's get it open here. Garbage. And continue on. Bone Club Berserker. Blighted Blackthorn. Silver Gill Peddler. Great Forest Druid. Gristle Glutton. Meander's Guide. Interesting. String Slinger. Goblin Dude. Shimmer Wild's Growth. Requiting Hex. And then here's our Swamp for this pack. Grub's Command. Oft-Nabbed Goat. Grub Storied Matriarch, which would flip into Grub Notorious Auntie. A Tristan Callous Cultivator, which flips into Tristan Penitent Color. And an Aurora Awakener. There's 6 and a green with Trample. It's a 7/7 giant druid. Vivid, when it enters, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X permanent cards, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. Put any number of those permanent cards onto the battlefield, and the rest of the revealed cards onto the bottom of your library in any order. So you can drop this for 7 mana and get 5 free cards. That is actually pretty decent. The ultimatums are 7 mana, and they're more difficult to cast, and they do a similar thing. Look at the top, or looking at Genesis Ultimatum specifically, look at the top. I think that one's the top 7. No, it's the top 5. Yeah, look at the top 5 cards. Put any number of permanents onto the battlefield under your control and the rest into your hand. These go to the rest of the bottom in random order. Yeah, that's a pretty cool card. I don't know if it's going for anything crazy right now. It is a mythic. And then we've got, what is this? Sunderflock. As our token/art card. And I don't think either of these guys are going for anything crazy, but we'll set them over here for right now. I did build a tiny leaders deck out of Tristan Callous Cultivator, which is fun. You can see us play tiny leaders for the month of March, where it's our featured format for Air Force Gaming. Twitch.tv/Air Force Gaming on Tuesdays. Evolving Wilds. Love and Evolving Wilds. Vile Boggart. Dream Caesar. Glamour Might. Very similar to Pestermite. Endless Breaks, Morcant's Eyes, Iron Shield Elf. I got an Iron Shield Elf as a promo pack card during Lorywn pre-release. Or maybe it was a different one, but Klachen Festival. The planes. I like these little spotlights on this planes card coming out of the little buildings there. It's really cool. Marlin Fey Ascendant. Abundant Countryside. Dream Harvester. Endblaze Epiphany. Whoa! We got a Japanese style card. Harmonized Crescendo. It's got Convoke. Choose a creature type, draw a card for each of the permanents you control. That is a pretty decent hit, I believe, as well. And then this is a Crossroads Watcher by Aurore Foley. Collector boosters are really just for, you know, the absolute gambliness of the game of Magic, that as best you can get, you know. But sometimes you just want to sit, have fun, crack some packs, see what you get, open up what you get you some additional cards for some additional formats. I played a lot of Pauper recently, and that's really fun. You can pull some cool things from your commons and from your commons for that. Uncommons, unfortunately, much maligned in the wider formats of Magic. You don't have any formats based solely around uncommons. None, not supported ones either, or at any rate. Put these guys over here in our pile of commons and uncommons. Mountain, very nice there. We got another Tristan Callous Cultivator. Oh, moved to 2 at once, but we got a Reaper King No More, which, fine, it is what it is. But we got Mutable Explorer, which is the one I was talking about. He creates mutable tokens. I love this guy. Look at him. Look at him. He's great. He's great, and I love Immutable. I've had my bacon saved by Immutable a time or two in a game of Pioneer in my time, and Mutable just great to have a little Mutable token. That's really fun. Sonar Innovative First Year. Oh, a Deceit, a foiled Deceit. That's actually a pretty decent one. And that Mutable Explorer. I don't care if it's a big hit. It's going into the big hits pile because it's my big hit. I like it. Copy token and a Scarecrow token. But yeah, I mean, cracking packs. If you're not playing limited, really you shouldn't be cracking packs. If you're not drafting, if you're not making a sealed deck, cracking packs really isn't the way to go. You shouldn't be cracking packs for value. Do as I say, not as I do. I'm just looking to open some stuff, have some fun, make a little bit of content here. We've been a little neglectful for my own channel. Been really working on the Air Force Gaming side, so been streaming for Air Force Gaming every week for the last basically 3 years at this point. So it's been a lot, but it's nice to get back to just opening up some packs, talking about the set as we're seeing it, and seeing some cool things as we go through. Unwelcome Sprite. Your opponent casts when you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, Surveil 2. We got a mountain right there. Rhymefire Torque. Subterfuge. Glitterwing Nuisance. 1 mana, 2/2. Enters with a -1/-1. You can remove a counter to be able to get a card draw when it hits, when it connects. It's pretty cool. Curious Colossus enters the battlefield. Each creature target opponent controls loses all abilities and becomes a coward in addition to its other types, and has base power and toughness 1/1. And what is it? Cowards can't block warriors. That's not actually a rule, but it's on the what is the creature? I forget what it is off the top of my head. We'll throw it up on the screen if I can. Oh, my cat is trying to walk through the shot. Let me move him out of the way. All right. Curious Colossus. Makes some cowards. Dawnhand Dissonant. Not a bad one. And a Kithkin token with an elf on the back. not too shabby. We're getting we haven't seen as many of the Shocklands as I was, hoping to see. We'll see what we get on that front here in a bit, I'm sure. Maybe we'll get another one in this pack after we get through our commons and uncommons. I was talking about Pauper earlier. I do like Pauper. It's a very fun format. Been playing some Mono Blue Terror and Pauper. Getting ready to head to MagicCon Las Vegas in May, and going to be participating in a couple of Pauper events while I'm out there. Maybe I'll see you out there. We're also bringing an Air Force Gaming contingent out, so if you're interested in finding out more about that, make sure you signed up at airforcegaming.com. War Camps Loyalist by Red Brawler, Nightmare Sower, Glamour Gifter. Ooh, wow. I actually really like that art on the planes. I like all the full arts, basically. I don't have any problems with any of them. But this is just very neat and idyllic. Scuzzback Scrounger was my nickname in high school. Sinister Gnarlbark. Hexing Squelcher. Hey, that's a hit. That's a hit, baby. Mirror Form is actually pretty good too, I believe. Brigid Clashans Heart, which goes into Brigid Down's Mind. We'll set that over there. And then a Merfolk token and a Shapeshifter token. Alright, last pack. What do we want from here? We want one of those, the special confetti foil cards. That'd be really cool to get, any of those. Another one of those, another special guest card in general would be great. One of these, Japanese style arts, or maybe another Shockland. Let's see what we can get. Last pack. Well, there's a good sign. Our token is signed. Has the little gold stamped signature on it. So, maybe that's a good sign. Maybe it's not. This is the last pack of the box. Liminal Hold. Let's throw these guys over here. Bog Slither's Embrace. Crossroads Watcher. Dawnhand Eulogist. This art for Dawnhand Eulogist is absolutely gorgeous. I think there's a playmat you can get of it where it's expanded out to be a playmat size. Looks absolutely gorgeous. Flaring Cinder. Twin Flame Travelers. Explosive Prodigy. Pitiless Fists. Bogart Curse Crafter. Another one of those gorgeous planes. Very idyllic. Alright. Final rares and mythics for this box. Let's see what we got. An Overgrown Tomb. Hey, that's Shockland. We'll take it. Grave Venerations. That's not really anything. Gloom Ripper. I don't think Gloom Ripper is anything. And Champion of the Klakan. And then we got one last card before we get to our token. Here we go. Let's see it. It is a Figure of Fable, which isn't a bad card. Like, I actually really like this card. It's not a big hit, but it's still it's a fun card, and it's got this kind of that prelude to the level up mechanic, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's really, really cool. And then we got a Jubilation that has the little gold foil stamp there, stamped by Vincent Christianus. All right. So what we'll do is we will take a quick break, and I'll come back with what our prices ended up being, and we'll see. We'll be right back, and we'll see what we came up with. All right, we are back. So after looking through everything, we found a couple of bigger hits. Our biggest hits right now are Bitter Blossom, which is going for a $33 in this treatment. Formidable Speaker in the foil is going for $37, which is actually pretty good. And then we also are getting on the larger side with a Hexing Squelcher, which is $26. Everything else out here is, between $6 and $15-$20. Looking through all of the things that I thought were big pulls and some of the other things, We ended up at $202 for the value of this. So, we said 500, 410-ish total spent, including shipping, 202. This is a lesson for you kids. Gambling doesn't pay off, but we did get some cool cards. We got to talk about some cool things. We definitely did not make our money back on this, but that's not a problem. We're adults with disposable income. We're having some fun playing our version of the booster box game, I suppose. Did get that Mutable Explorer. Do love this guy. Got a good stack of commons and uncommons and some bulk rares to work with, which can help me build out some other decks with some other formats. And it's always nice to have these shock lands available as well. So very nice to have. This has been a fun experience. If you're ever interested in playing some Commander or some other formats with us over at the Air Force Gaming side, twitch.tv/Air Force Gaming every Tuesday at 1900 Eastern Time. You can hop on, play some games. If you have an airforcegaming.com account, you can also join us for some games and play using Spell Table and Convoke. It's a lot of fun there. So that's all for today. Thank you all for watching, and have a great rest of your day.